Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun!
Xavier hunched over the bathroom sink, his heart racing. Lunchtime had become his secret sanctuary, a brief window where he could indulge in the one thing that made him feel truly alive. With trembling fingers, he reached into his messenger bag and pulled out a small, inconspicuous pouch. Glancing nervously at the restroom door, he extracted a set of press-on nails, each one a perfect almond shape with a glossy nude finish. He'd spent hours agonizing over which set to choose, wanting something subtle enough to fly under the radar at work, yet glamorous enough to satisfy his yearning for feminine expression. Xavier took a deep breath, steadying his hands as he began to apply the first nail. The adhesive felt cool against his fingertip, a stark contrast to the warmth spreading through his chest. As each nail found its home, a smile tugged at the corners of his mouth. Almost done, he whispered to his reflection, admiring the way the nails elongated his fingers, making them appear delicate and refined. Just as he pressed the final nail into place, the restroom door creaked open. Xavier's blood ran cold. He fumbled with the remaining packaging, desperately trying to shove everything back into his bag before whoever had entered could see.
Oh, hey, Xavier! I didn't realize anyone was in here!
Emma's voice echoed off the tile walls, causing Xavier to freeze in place. His co-worker's heels clicked against the floor as she approached the sink next to him. Xavier kept his head down, praying she wouldn't notice the dramatic change to his hands. Are those new nails? Xavier's stomach dropped. He slowly raised his gaze to meet Emma's in the mirror, bracing himself for disgust or ridicule. To his surprise, her expression was one of genuine interest and admiration. They look amazing! Where did you get them done? Xavier blinked, momentarily stunned by her reaction. I actually did them myself. Just now. Emma's eyes widened. No way! They look so professional! You've got some serious skills! A hesitant smile crept across Xavier's face. Thanks. I've been practicing, but this is the first time I've worn them to work. Well, they're gorgeous. Although... Emma leaned in closer, examining his handiwork. You might want to be careful with that pinky. The edge is lifting a bit. Xavier's face fell as he inspected the nail in question. Oh no, I must have rushed it. I was so worried about someone coming in. Hey, no worries. I've got some nail glue in my purse. Want me to help you fix it? Xavier hesitated, torn between his ingrained need for secrecy and the unexpected lifeline Emma was offering. You wouldn't mind? Emma's warm smile put him at ease. Of course not. Come on, let's head to the break room. It'll be quieter there, and I can show you some tricks for making them last longer. Relief washed over Xavier as he followed Emma out of the restroom. The break room was mercifully empty, most of their colleagues having already finished lunch. Emma pulled up 2 chairs to a small table in the corner, gesturing for Xavier to sit. All right, let's see what we're working with. She gently took his hand, examining each nail with a practiced eye. These are really nice quality. Where did you get them? Xavier felt a blush creep up his neck. There's a little boutique downtown. I've been eyeing them for months, but I never had the courage to go in until last week. Emma nodded approvingly. Good choice. Cheap press-ons can be a nightmare. Now, watch closely. She pulled a small bottle of nail glue from her purse, along with a few other tools. With deft movements, she demonstrated how to properly prep the nail bed and apply just the right amount of adhesive. The key is to let the glue get a little tacky before you press the nail down, she explained. And always cap the free edge with a little extra glue. It helps prevent water from seeping underneath. Xavier watched in fascination as Emma worked, hanging on her every word.
How did you learn all this?
A wistful expression crossed Emma's face.
My mom was a nail tech. I practically grew up in her salon. Used to drive her crazy, always wanting to play with her supplies.
As Emma finished securing the last nail, Xavier flexed his fingers, marveling at how natural they felt. Thank you so much, Emma. I can't believe how much better they look already.
Happy to help. And you know, if you ever want to experiment with polish or nail art, I've got a whole collection at home. We could have a little spa night sometime, if you're interested.
Xavier's eyes lit up at the prospect.
Really? That would be amazing. I've always wanted to try, but I never knew where to start. Consider it a date, then.
Emma beamed, packing up her supplies.
Oh, and one more thing.
She lowered her voice conspiratorially.
If you're worried about people noticing at work, try keeping your hands busy. Typing, shuffling papers, that sort of thing.
It draws the eye away from your nails. Xavier nodded gratefully, already feeling more confident. As they stood to leave, he impulsively pulled Emma into a hug. Thank you, he whispered. You have no idea how much this means to me. Emma squeezed him back. Anytime, Xavier. We've got to stick together, right? As they parted ways to return to their respective desks, Xavier felt a weight lift from his shoulders. For the first time in years, he dared to hope that maybe, just maybe, he could truly be himself at work. The next few weeks passed in a whirlwind of secret nail sessions and clandestine conversations with Emma. True to her word, she invited Xavier over for a spa night the following weekend. He arrived at her apartment clutching a bottle of wine, his stomach a knot of excitement and nerves. Come on in! Emma ushered him inside, her own nails a dazzling array of holographic glitter. I've got everything set up in the living room. Xavier's jaw dropped as he took in the scene before him. Emma's coffee table was covered in a rainbow of nail polishes, glitters, and tiny decorative accents. A UV lamp sat at the ready, alongside various tools he couldn't even begin to identify. This is... wow, he breathed, sinking onto the couch. I don't even know where to start. Emma laughed, pouring them each a glass of wine. How about we start with a base color? Any shade catching your eye? Xavier's gaze was immediately drawn to a deep, shimmering burgundy. Is this one too bold? Not at all. It'll look stunning with your skin tone. Emma picked up the bottle, giving it a quick shake. Now, first things first, we need to prep your nails. Over the next hour, Emma guided Xavier through the process of shaping, buffing, and painting his nails. She showed him how to apply thin, even coats, and how to clean up any mistakes with a small brush dipped in acetone. As they waited for the polish to dry between coats, their conversation flowed freely. Xavier found himself opening up about his lifelong fascination with feminine expression and the shame he'd carried for so long. I just never felt like I fit in with the other guys, he confessed, staring into his wine glass, but I was too scared to explore what that meant. Until now, I guess. Emma reached out, squeezing his hand. There's no timeline for figuring yourself out, and there's no one right way to express your gender. You get to decide what feels authentic to you. Xavier nodded, blinking back tears. I think I might want to try more than just nails, but I wouldn't even know where to begin. A mischievous glint appeared in Emma's eye. Well, as it happens, I might have a few things you could try on, if you're comfortable with that, of course. Xavier's heart raced at the prospect. Really? You wouldn't mind? Are you kidding? I've been dying for an excuse to play dress-up. Emma jumped up, practically bouncing with excitement. Come on, let's raid my closet while your nails finish drying. Xavier followed her into the bedroom, where Emma threw open her closet doors with a flourish. Okay,
Let's start with something simple. How about a flowy blouse and some skinny jeans? She pulled out a soft, emerald green top with delicate lace detailing along the neckline. Xavier reached out, marveling at the silky texture. "It's beautiful," he murmured. "And it'll bring out your eyes," Emma added with a wink. She handed him the blouse, along with a pair of dark wash jeans. "The bathroom's just down the hall if you want to change. Take your time, and remember, there's no pressure. If anything feels uncomfortable, we'll try something else." Xavier nodded gratefully, clutching the clothes to his chest as he made his way to the bathroom. Once inside, he took a deep breath, steeling himself for what came next. Slowly, he unbuttoned his plain work shirt, letting it fall to the floor. He slipped the blouse over his head, reveling in the way the fabric caressed his skin. The jeans proved a bit more challenging, requiring some creative wiggling to get them over his hips. But when he finally looked in the mirror, his breath caught in his throat. The person staring back at him was softer, somehow. More authentic. "Everything okay in there?" Emma called from the other side of the door. "Yeah, I'm coming out." Xavier paused, a small laugh escaping him. "In more ways than one, I guess." He opened the door, stepping out tentatively. Emma's face lit up as she took him in. "Oh my God, Xavier! You look incredible!" Xavier blushed, smoothing his hands over the blouse. "You really think so? It doesn't look weird. Not at all. Here, come look." Emma led him to the full-length mirror in her bedroom. "See how the blouse accentuates your waist? And those jeans are doing wonders for your legs." Xavier stared at his reflection, barely recognizing himself. The person in the mirror looked confident, radiant even. For the first time in his life, he felt like he was seeing the real Xavier. "I can't believe it," he whispered, turning to the side to examine his profile. "I feel pretty." Emma beamed, squeezing his shoulder. "You are pretty and handsome. You're whatever you want to be." Tears welled up in Xavier's eyes as the weight of the moment hit him. "Thank you, Emma, for everything. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't walked into that bathroom that day." Emma pulled him into a fierce hug. "Hey, that's what friends are for. Now, what do you say we finish those nails and maybe try out some mascara?" Xavier laughed, wiping away his tears. "Absolutely. Let's do it all." The rest of the evening passed in a blur of laughter and experimentation. Emma taught Xavier the basics of makeup application, helping him create a subtle, natural look that enhanced his features without overwhelming them. They tried on various outfits, mixing and matching pieces to find combinations that made Xavier feel both comfortable and confident. As the night wound down, Xavier found himself reluctant to change back into his regular clothes. "I wish I could wear this to work," he sighed, running his hands over the soft fabric of a floral wrap dress. Emma tilted her head, considering. "Why can't you?" Xavier blinked in surprise. "What do you mean? I can't just show up to the office in a dress." "Why not? There's nothing in the dress code that says you can't wear traditionally feminine clothing. Trust me, I've checked." Xavier's mind raced with possibilities. "But what would people say? What if I lose my job?" Emma took his hands in hers, her expression serious. "Xavier, listen to me. You have the right to express yourself authentically. If anyone gives you trouble, HR will have your back. And so will I." Xavier took a shaky breath, overwhelmed by the support and the prospect of such a huge step. Maybe I could start small? Like wearing a blouse under my blazer? Emma nodded encouragingly. "That's perfect. Baby steps. And if you ever need backup, just say the word. I'll be right there with you." As Xavier gathered his things to leave, he felt a profound sense of gratitude wash over him. "Emma,
I don't know how to thank you for all of this. She smiled warmly, pulling him in for one last hug. Just promise me you'll keep being true to yourself. That's all the thanks I need. The following Monday, Xavier stood in front of his closet, heart pounding. He reached past his usual button-downs, fingers grazing the soft fabric of the emerald blouse Emma had given him. With a deep breath, he pulled it off the hanger. As he buttoned his blazer over the blouse, he caught sight of himself in the mirror. The person looking back at him was still Xavier, but Xavier who was finally starting to come into his own. He smiled, running a hand over his freshly painted nails. The office buzzed with its usual Monday morning energy as Xavier stepped off the elevator, his heart pounding beneath the emerald blouse hidden under his blazer. He clutched his messenger bag tightly, acutely aware of his painted nails and the unfamiliar fabric against his skin. "Mornin', Xavier!" Emma's cheerful voice cut through the noise. She appeared at his side, giving him a subtle once-over and a reassuring wink. "Looking sharp today." Xavier managed a shaky smile. "Thanks, I decided to try something new." "It suits you," Emma said, loud enough for nearby colleagues to hear. "That color really brings out your eyes." A few heads turned their way. Curiosity piqued. Xavier felt his cheeks flush, but Emma's steady presence kept him grounded. "Team meeting in 5, everyone!" Their manager's voice rang out across the open office. "Conference room B, let's go!" Xavier took a deep breath, steeling himself for the increased scrutiny of a closed room. As he and Emma made their way to the conference room, he couldn't help but notice the double takes and whispered conversations that seemed to follow in their wake. The meeting droned on, a blur of quarterly projections and action items. Xavier found himself struggling to focus, hyper-aware of every shift in his clothing, every accidental glimpse of his nails as he took notes. He could feel curious glances from his co-workers, but no one said anything directly. As the meeting wrapped up, their manager, Patricia, called out, "Xavier, could you stay back a moment?" Xavier's stomach dropped. This was it. He was about to be reprimanded, maybe even fired. Emma shot him a concerned look as she filed out with the others, mouthing, "I'll wait outside," as she closed the door. Patricia settled into the chair next to Xavier, her expression unreadable. "I couldn't help but notice you seem a bit different today." Xavier swallowed hard. Yes, I've been exploring some changes in my personal style." To his surprise, Patricia's face softened into a smile. "It's refreshing to see." "You know, when I first started in this industry, women were expected to wear skirt suits and pantyhose every day. It's about time we all got to be a little more comfortable in our own skin." Relief washed over Xavier. "So, you're okay with this?" Patricia nodded. "As long as you're adhering to the dress code, which you clearly are, your personal expression is your business. I just wanted to check in and make sure you're feeling supported here." Tears pricked at the corners of Xavier's eyes. Thank you. That means more than you know." "Of course. And Xavier?" Patricia leaned in, her voice lowering conspiratorially. "Between you and me, that blouse is fabulous. Where did you get it?" Xavier laughed, the tension finally leaving his body. "Actually, it was a gift from Emma. She's been really supportive through all of this." Patricia's eyes twinkled. "Emma's got excellent taste. Now go on and get back to work. And if anyone gives you any trouble, you come straight to me. Understood?" Xavier nodded gratefully, gathering his things. As he stepped out of the conference room, he found Emma waiting anxiously. "Well, what happened? Do I need to go in there and fight someone?" Xavier couldn't help but chuckle at her protective stance. "No fighting necessary. Patricia was amazing, actually. She basically gave me her blessing. Emma's face lit up. See? I told you it would be okay. This calls for a celebration lunch. My treat. As they walked to their desks, Xavier noticed the stares and whispers had mostly subsided. A few colleagues even offered compliments on his new look. With each positive interaction, he felt his confidence grow. Lunchtime rolled around, and Xavier found himself in a booth at their favorite nearby cafe, across from an exuberant Emma.
I still can't believe how well this went,
he marveled, taking a sip of his iced tea.
I was so sure I'd be laughed out of the office.
Emma reached across the table, squeezing his hand.
You underestimate yourself, Xavier. And you underestimate how much the world has changed. People are more accepting than you think.
Xavier nodded, a warm feeling spreading through his chest. I couldn't have done this without you, you know.
Oh, please.
Emma waved him off.
All I did was give you a little nudge. You're the one who had the courage to take that step.
Their food arrived, and as they dug in, Xavier found himself opening up even more. You know, I've been thinking, maybe it's time I started seeing a therapist, to really explore all of this. Emma's eyes lit up.
That's a great idea! Actually, I might know someone. My friend from college works at an LGBTQ+ health center. I could get you her info if you want.
Xavier nodded eagerly.
That would be amazing. I feel like I'm finally starting to understand myself. But there's still so much to figure out.
Well, whatever you discover, I'm here for you, Emma said firmly. And so are a lot of other people, as you saw today. As they finished their meal and prepared to head back to the office, Xavier caught sight of his reflection in the cafe window. The person looking back at him was smiling, eyes bright with possibility. For the first time in his life, he felt like he was truly becoming himself. The rest of the week passed in a blur of small victories and newfound confidence. Xavier gradually incorporated more elements of his authentic style into his work wardrobe. A floral scarf here, a pair of low heels there. Each day brought new challenges, but also new supporters. By Friday, the office had largely adjusted to Xavier's evolving look. He even overheard two of the younger interns praising the company's inclusive culture, citing him as an example. The validation was intoxicating. As he packed up his desk that evening, Emma appeared at his side, practically vibrating with excitement.
So, big plans for the weekend?
Xavier grinned.
Actually, yes. I have my first appointment with that therapist you recommended tomorrow morning. That's fantastic! Emma clapped her hands together. And after that?
Xavier raised an eyebrow.
After that, I don't know, laundry? Grocery shopping?
Emma rolled her eyes dramatically.
Boring! No, after that, you're coming shopping with me. It's time we got you a proper wardrobe of your own.
A thrill of excitement ran through Xavier.
Really? You'd do that? Are you kidding? I've been dying to take you to some of my favorite boutiques. Plus,
she lowered her voice conspiratorially, there's a drag show tomorrow night at that new club downtown. I thought maybe we could check it out, if you're interested. Xavier's eyes widened. A drag show? I've never been to one before.
No pressure,
Emma assured him.
But I think you might find it inspiring. And who knows? Maybe someday you'll be up on that stage yourself.
Xavier laughed, but there was a spark of curiosity in his eyes. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But, yeah, I'd love to go. As they walked out of the office together, Xavier marveled at how much his life had changed in just a few short weeks. He thought back to that day in the bathroom, hunched over the sink in secret. Now, here he was, striding confidently through the lobby, his heels clicking against the marble floor.
Thanks for watching my girlies. Be sure to check out Patreon for more.